PC gaming is a niche. Looking up whatever I can find throughout the internet, most of us gamers are, in fact, PC enthusiasts. I think the terms PC gamer and PC enthusiast are interchangeable, to an extent. The amount of PCs bought exclusively for gaming is pretty much unknown. I can't find any articles relating to the amount of PCs sold that are exclusively sold for gaming. Most of us just build our own PCs built specifically for gaming. What we have currently as enthusiasts, or rather, here's another term, Windows gamers, is a monopoly in favor of a Microsoft product, Windows. This is the monopoly that hinders the progression for community-based platforms as well as enable vendor lock-in practices. PC enthusiasts should know very clearly that Microsoft themselves are the worst when it comes to vendor lock-in and control, as shown clearly by the Xbox One. So, as according to the title of this video, Linux. What about it? Well, Linux happened to grab the attention of the super special awesome video game company known as Valve Software, and pretty much is going all out on it. That's a good thing. Why should we not use Windows? Well, the obvious reasons would be that you would have to cater to what Microsoft wants its operating system to be to you. You'd be stuck with what Microsoft wants you to use, the viruses, the exploit, etc. But the major problem revolving around Microsoft is much bigger than just dealing with what Microsoft gives to you. It actually stems from dealing with Microsoft, especially when you can work around the problems Windows gives you, such as buying a freaking start menu. The expectation from Microsoft giving you what you want will be your own problem, especially when you're expecting something that you would expect from a monopoly? What am I saying? The fact that people, PC enthusiasts, that run Windows don't have to care because they expect everything to just work. That can be a major problem as we dive into either ignorant or lazy territory. Ignorance isn't a bad thing. It's just that the people who don't know much about anything about computers or Windows, because it happens to revolve around their businesses that happen to use Windows, they don't care enough to utilize their computer to their full potential, so they stick by Windows, because it just works. As for PC gamers, or PC enthusiasts, or actually, how about just Windows gamers in general? They just stick by Windows, and they just play their dumb games. It enables laziness in the sense that we accept what is already out there that just works, and we expect Windows to do all the dirty work for us, which it does enough of already. Also, having an expectation from Steam to do what consumers want, which is what they do extremely well, people will still find something to complain about, all because of the fact that Windows enables lazy behavior. Steam will not progress, and people will be expecting everything to be hunky-dory as Windows alongside Steam grabs the attention of people who are already familiar with those platforms because it just works. We become disappointed and dependent on Microsoft to where we just don't care about anything else as long as we can play our dumb games that are only available on Windows. And we all know how that works too, right? EA, Origin, Uplay, games for Windows Live, what the heck? We'd all be in a cycle of disappointments involving waiting on Microsoft to fix something. This behavior shows when you're given everything to you on a fancy plate that just works. Windows gamers don't have to care, even though they should, when they complain about a game that's on Steam that clearly states that it needs the disc to work properly. So in reality, we all settle for crap, but when something is seemingly out of place, we don't settle for it. However, this does not apply to just Windows gamers, no. What's also a problem is current Linux users are also aiming for that type of laziness. Use whatever works, and having nothing to say when there are some problems going on. Nvidia and Intel are currently the largest consumer-based market leaders for PCs everywhere. They also happen to be the best driver developers for Linux. On the other hand, we have a struggling underdog of a company that's been abused and pushed around by Intel ever since it was created, continuing on to this day. That's right, AMD is still alive and kicking, but struggling. Why is that? is because most Linux users are settling for what works currently as best as it can. And that's a sad truth, because Nvidia and Intel's drivers for graphics chips are far superior. So why are we settling for that? Without competition, there's really going to be no variety left in PC gaming at all, let alone Linux gaming. Why are we settling for what works instead of working as a team to help everybody out and improve on what is out there already? Why is laziness a problem? For Linux users, we don't have to care about what happens to a company as long as we can play our dumb video games well. We don't have to care about competition and just choose what we want to use, which we won't have the choice if they go under, but who cares? We complain about AMD, but we don't have to do anything to improve them. That's Linux laziness right now. As for Windows gamers, we don't have to care about Linux because everything just works on Windows. We complain about it, but we won't bother with actually doing anything about Windows, so we tolerate whatever the heck happens on Windows as long as we can play our stupid games. I'm not saying you have to support Linux or have to care about it. Well, actually, yeah, I am. But if you like to complain as much as I do, I'd say you should start caring about it, as PC enthusiasts and PC gamers. After all, that's what we are.